Speaker next Congress if we're lucky enough to have the majority. And I think that is widely held belief throughout the conference.
Is he going to be Speaker for the rest of this Congress, do you think?
That is to be determined.
I think the timing would be pretty bad to have a change in command. So I'm not really looking at that right now.
It would be a terrible, terrible idea to vacate Speaker Johnson's speakership over what's coming up in the next few days. It would be a very bad idea. It would be a very bad idea for the Republican conference. It would be a very bad idea for the House of Representatives writ large and for the nation.
When Marjorie Taylor Greene promises to bring about chaos and drama, it'd be wise to believe her. She started dangling the threat to kick Mike Johnson out faster than Kevin McCarthy, and her vision of turmoil is picking up some steam.
There's only one person right now who can stop us from going into what happened last fall, and that's Mike Johnson. He's cleaning the barn, that's obvious.
So you want him to resign? You want him to resign?
Yes. Yeah, I asked him to resign.
What did he say?
He said he would not. And then I said, well, you're the one who's going to put us into this. Because the motion is going to get called, okay? Does anybody doubt that? The motion will get called, and then he's going to lose more votes than Kevin McCarthy. And I have told him this in private, like weeks ago.
The only way to avoid Kevin McCarthy's fate is to just jump ship before they throw his ass overboard. Now, if Thomas Massie told Johnson that weeks ago, there's a reason he decided to tell a gaggle of reporters the same thing in public, especially since politicians are quick to keep private conversations a secret unless it benefits them not to. It's looking like the message is to stop talking to Democrats and acting like you need their votes in order to pass anything, when Trump's House Republicans don't want any of that. The shadow speaker of the House has spoken.
Right now, we have a Republican-elected Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who rammed through Joe Biden's agenda, fully funded the Department of Justice, which has 91 federal indictments against President Trump, fully funded the FBI, which raided Mar-a-Lago, and he gave the FBI a brand new building. And even more than that, he fully funded Joe Biden's illegal invasion by fully funding the open border policies that the Biden administration has implemented. Now he has passed through FISA, and he stopped the warrant requirement with his own vote, the deciding vote. Now he's pushing for billions of dollars to go to Ukraine, with a lot of dirty tricks happening here with this bill package that they're ramming and putting together and trying to trick Republicans to vote for with the Israeli aid package. So we're not going to allow that. From now on, Steve, we're only going to allow Republican leaders that understand the Republican agenda for this country is America first, not America last. And that's why Speaker Johnson needs to resign. He needs to do the right thing, and we need time to elect a new Speaker of the House.
It all goes back to eliminating any agency that Donald Trump has determined to be a nuisance to his goals of autocratic power. They're literally calling for MAGA Mike Johnson's job because he funded law enforcement. This coming from a party that whined and cried about citizens' calls for defunding and reallocating funds for police departments that have been proven to brutally and illegally harm the people that they patrol. But when defunding the police means keeping the feds away from Donald Trump's illegal activities, Marge and him will be in the streets setting fire to auto zones and retail stores. Or they'll just abuse their power and kick anyone out whose primary goal is not to protect Trump from accountability.
What is your response to Republicans who say this move should cost you your job and that if you don't resign, they will try to oust you?
I am not resigning, and it is, in my view, an absurd notion that someone would bring a vacate motion when we are simply here trying to do our jobs. It is not helpful to the cause. It is not helpful to the country. It does not help the House Republicans advance our agenda, which is in the best interest of the American people here, a secure border, sound governance, and it's not helpful to the unity that we have in the body.
The rate at which MAGA turns on its own enablers and officials that find themselves in a position of influence is getting faster and faster. Just a few months ago, Mike Johnson was walking around calling himself Moses and legitimizing Trump's petulant and never-ending cries of election fraud. Now, he's showing up at Mar-a-Lago just to kiss Trump's ring like Kevin McCarthy did after he first tried to tell the truth about January 6th.
For Trump, the visit underscored his immense influence over the party, despite his legal issues, much like when then Speaker Kevin McCarthy came to Mar-a-Lago 3 years ago in the wake of the Capitol attack.
He's learned that in order to be a good MAGA Republican, you have to literally fear the king, stay in line, and don't touch him unless he tells you to. So it looks like it's only a matter of time until Gang Green, led by Marjorie, sets Johnson's head on the chopping block, hoping to please their ill-tempered king by showing just how much important he is to them than the country itself. But still, none of them realize that every eager ass kisser has turned their back only to be kicked in theirs by the guy that demands their loyalty.
The ask is out for people to come on the show and answer them. But,
well, I'll answer quickly for him. I have no backbone, and I'm so afraid of his base. And so, I expect to be speaker for like 20 Scaramucci's, which are like 220 days. I'm just trying to outlast Kevin McCarthy that lasted 24.5 Scaramucci's. I mean, that's basically what he would try to say.
Measuring the speakership in Scaramucci's is definitely a new one.